This is only slightly adapted from a book called Screen Kids by Gary Chapman and Arlene Pelican. Quick side note, I will put up a list at the end of all the books I'm going to recommend, so don't feel like you have to write them all down. I'll have it up on a screen. You can take a photo at the end. But this is just a quiz to help you determine whether or not your child might have too much screen time. So if you have something to write on or write with or a phone, you can put it in. Just jot down the score on a scale of 0 to 3 for one of your kids, all of your kids, however you want to do it. And here's the scoring scale. 0 means it's rarely true in your home. 1 means occasionally true. 2 is that it's usually true. And 3 means always true. And I'll have that scale up in the corner here for you to see. All right. Number 1, your child is upset or annoyed when you ask him to stop his screen activity to come to dinner or another activity. Number 2, your child asks you to buy a digital device, such as a phone or a tablet, after you have already said no. Your child has trouble completing his homework or schoolwork because he is busy watching television or playing video games. 4, your child refuses to help with chores around the house, choosing instead to play with screens. Number 5, your child asks you if he can play a video game or other screen-related activity after you have already said no. Your child does not get at least 60 minutes of physical activity each day. Your child does not give frequent eye contact to others in the home. Your child would rather play video games than go outside to play with friends. Your child doesn't really enjoy anything that doesn't involve screens. And finally, if you restricted all screen use for one day, your child would be irritable and whiny. Okay, so here are the results of this little quiz. If your child scores 10 or below, they do not appear to have too much screen time and seem able to exercise appropriate control and boundaries, which is probably more than I can say for myself. 11 through 20, your child may be depending on screen time too much, might want to monitor screen time more judiciously, and watch for growing reliance upon screens. And finally, in the final category, your child may be addicted to or overly dependent on screens. You may want to meet with a counselor, pastor, or parent that you respect for advice. Now again, this is adapted from that book, Screen Kids, and I found this a really helpful way to sort of gauge where we fell on this spectrum, because I believe we're all